everybody, it's Kelsee Briana Jai, and in today's video I am testing out the highly anticipated Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. And I got a little bit of a sneak peek of this foundation maybe a few months ago, and ever since then I have been clamoring to get this foundation, so I was finally able to order it on Charlotte's website. It has finally launched, and today we are testing it out. So let me give you guys some details about this foundation. Firstly, here's what the packaging looks like. It comes in a beige box. It says Airbrush Flawless Foundation, stays all day and night. It has 30 milliliters of products or 1 fluid ounce of products. This foundation retails for $44, and here's what she looks like. So this is very on brand for Charlotte Tilbury. This is what her packaging looks like. It has a nice amount of weight to it. I like the top because it gives me that old school glam vibe. Like, this is a foundation that my grandma would have back in the day, and she would display on her vanity type look. So I like the aesthetic of the foundation, and I feel like it feels heavy and expensive. The description of this foundation says that flawless is a feeling. Charlotte's new innovative foundation is the secret to a flawless, poreless looking confident complexion. A stay all day weightless full coverage formula with a natural matte finish. It says that this is a hybrid magic skincare foundation for every occasion. Why? It contains Charlotte's magic matrix of ingredients, the groundbreaking magic Replexium, to significantly reduce the appearance of wrinkles by up to 22% after 8 weeks of use. Moss Cell Tech #1 to boost hydration by up to 216%, and air cool for an instant fresh feel on the skin. So there's a lot of claims. This foundation not only claims to give you a little bit of coverage and cover up your imperfections, but it also claims to have skincare in it to smooth out your skin over the course of 8 weeks. Let's talk about the colors. This foundation has 44 different shades with different undertones. I got the color 8W. Typically, I would not get anything that says W. W stands for warm, just because warm tones tend to be a little bit peachier, more orangish, a little bit more red. You guys know I wear about a MAC NC43. I can wear number 8 in the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. So you all already know that I have this foundation on now, and I'm about to do a demonstration, and then I'm going to put this foundation to the test. Their claim that says that this foundation has a natural matte finish. It also says that this foundation is sweat proof, humidity proof, waterproof, and transfer resistant. So I'm not going to go swimming, but I definitely am going to continue wearing this foundation around for the rest of the day. I'm about to get my day started. Currently it is 2 o'clock, and I'm about to head out. We'll talk about everything at the end of the day, and I will give you all my final thoughts. So let me know if you guys plan on picking up this foundation. I will have links for where you all can purchase it down in the description box, and I hope that you all enjoy. Let's open this baby up. I love the way Charlotte packages everything. So nice. Let's do this. So I'm shaking up my foundation. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, shake it. And I'm going to go in with 2 pumps of this foundation on the back of my sponge. This is the LC sponge. So I'm going to dab this all over. This kind of smells like a baby powder perfume. Okay. So I'm glad that this color isn't as orange as it looked online. It is about a half shade too light though. I'll see if I can make it work, but this is not my perfect color. It's blending out really nicely though, so it's giving me that really smooth effect. It's blending out. It's not catching on anything. I do have a mild, very, very mild breakout right here. It's going on top of that nicely, and it's blending out decently. But like I said, this is not a perfect match for me. So I can still see my skin through this foundation, which is good. It's giving me about a medium amount of coverage. I do feel like I need more coverage in a few more areas on my face. I'm going in with 1 more pump just to kind of further perfect everything. So I'm gonna build it up on my cheek area. Okay, it builds up really nicely. So I think this looks nice. It looks very smooth. The foundation feels good on the skin. It blended out really easily. It allowed me to build up the coverage. I don't feel like it looks heavy where I applied a little bit more of the foundation. But like I said, I don't feel like the color is a perfect match. It is about a half shade too light for me. So I will see if it oxidizes once it dries down and how it looks with the rest of my products on top. It has a slight amount of a shine to it. It kind of feels slightly tacky, not a lot, almost like a gel. It is still very lightweight and comfortable. I'm just going to blend it down my neck a little bit more because like I said, it is too light. And I'm going to go in with the rest of my products. I'll let you guys see what everything looks like in just a second. So I have my makeup finished and here's what it looks like all together. I think that everything looks pretty once I have the bronzer on and my concealer and I brought a little bit of color back into my face. I think everything looks really smooth. I think that the foundation definitely matches the rest of my body more once it dried down just a little bit, because when I initially put it on, it had almost like a satin type feel to it and it dried down to a semi-matte finish. And here's what it is looking like. It definitely has regulated itself to be more so my color, and I feel like the undertone looks really nice as well. It doesn't look warm and it doesn't look too golden. I think that it looks like a good match for me right now with everything all together. So I am going to do a wear test, as you guys know and expect from me. So I will check in every few hours and let you guys see what the updates are looking like with this foundation. And then make sure you stay tuned until the end of the night and I will tell you all my final thoughts on this foundation. So enjoy! So I'm back and I've had the foundation on for 4 hours now, and overall I think that the color is looking better than it did when I first applied it. Definitely the warm tones are showing through, and I do see a subtle hint of an orange tone to the foundation, but nothing overly drastic. I think the foundation is wearing decently. I am looking very, very glowy, not greasy or anything like that, and it still feels comfortable, but I do see a lot of glow coming from my foundation. So if you're a person who likes to have a matte finish throughout the day, I'm not really seeing where this foundation is staying matte in the humidity. It's like 87 degrees outside today, so it's sort of hot, but really it's not that bad in comparison to how it's been. So I've been outside all day. I've been doing a little bit of errands here and there, but overall I think my foundation is wearing decently. You guys can see some of the oiliness that's kind of breaking through on the sides and here on my cheek area. Not bad, but it's definitely not matte. But the foundation is still on my face. I don't notice it disappearing. I think that it is still all there and it's still giving me the same amount of coverage. So I'll check back in a few more hours and let you guys see the update. So it's been 8 hours and I'm ready to come back and give you guys my thoughts about how I feel this foundation has worn throughout the day. So let's start off by looking at how my skin looks now. I feel like my skin looks pretty decent. It is still relatively matte. I do have a bit of a glow breaking through in a few different areas, like I talked about when I did my last check-in. So I feel like my skin pretty much looks the same from my last check-in until now, because I really didn't do that much in between then. I feel like the biggest difference is just the amount of glow that I have in my T-zone area, and even still then it's not that much of a difference. So overall I feel like this foundation wears pretty well throughout the day. Going in initially, I do agree with Charlotte's claim that this foundation does have a natural matte finish and that it is not overly drying like a traditional matte foundation would be, but it definitely does not have a luminous finish. When it goes on, it seems like it's going to have that luminous finish, but it does dry down pretty quickly. So you all saw too with the amount of foundation that I used, the amount of coverage that I was able to get with 3 pumps. This is what I'm looking like with 3 pumps all over my face. I went in with 2 pumps evenly all over, and then with that 3rd pump, I went in areas where I needed a little bit more coverage. My eye will not stop watering. I feel like I'm trying to get some type of cold, but I'm not claiming that. I'm about to go take some medicine for it as soon as I'm done with this video. So never mind that. But I think this foundation gave a nice amount of coverage. You absolutely do not have to go for the full coverage amount of foundation. Like you guys saw in my demonstration, you can go in with 1 pump, maybe 2 pumps, and get the amount of coverage that you're looking for without globbing this foundation on. I think that it is a medium buildable foundation, meaning you can go in, make it medium, and you can build it up and get it to full coverage if you want it to be. But going in is not just like a very heavy foundation to the point where it feels and looks like a mask. It is not that much coverage, but it does have a good amount of coverage, and the foundation's formula does build well. So I like the way it looks, but I'm not in love with it. it. I think my biggest gripe with this foundation is that the middle range of the shades is just not that extensive. I feel like there are so many huge gaps, and I feel like I would have liked this foundation more if I were able to select a color that I felt like looked exactly like me. Because going from 8W to 9C or 9W is just huge gaps, and I just feel like there were not enough shades in the middle. There were not enough neutral shades in the middle. But until then, I feel like this foundation definitely does have warmer tones to it because this foundation does oxidize. So going in with the foundation, it looks more yellow, but as the day went on, it definitely oxidized. It got darker and darker and darker to the point where it looks like how it does now, which is not overly dark, but it definitely is about a full shade darker than it was when I first applied it. So the colors are just iffy for me. I feel like there's not a perfect color in any of Charlotte's complexion products for me, and this foundation is no exception, even though there's a lot more shades than she's ever offered in any complexion products that she has launched. So I'm really not that thrilled about that. But as far as the formulation of this foundation, I just think it's okay. So I don't think it's a bad formula, but it's not something that stands out to me as an outstanding formula. It's just right here in the middle. I definitely am going to keep trying this foundation. Whenever it rolls out to counters, I'll go check it out in my Sephora, and if my Sephora doesn't have it, then I'll go to my Charlotte Tilbury counter and I'll see if I see a better color match. So if you guys tried out this foundation, let me know what you think about it down in the comments section. And if you've tried out any of Charlotte's other products, let me know what you think about those down in the comment section as well. So I will check you all in my very next video, which will be super soon. Smooches. Bye.